Hey YouTube, hey Google, it's Weedy Weekend 23. Uh, it's a small one this week and it's weedless. I'm here with my son. My son really wanted to be a part of this video, but he is sick and his throat's hurting and he doesn't want to talk. So it's just me, and three stories. Three stories. Uh, And also, because my son's here, I won't be medicating. I do have what I can do and what I have been doing. I'll just fill you in a little bit. I just finished in 2 days. I've driven to Edmonton and back twice, and that's a 300-kilometer drive one way. So 600, 1,200 kilometers I've done this last day and a half, 2 days, to bring my son here, my other son, so that it could be a dude's giving. We had our dude's giving yesterday, but he had to work today, so I had to drive him back. Um, so sitting for 14 hours in a car is difficult, even when you take, a day break in between. So thank goodness I have things like CBD cream, oils, and creams and tinctures that can work on my body without doing anything to my mind, so nobody can get me in trouble. This is all right on my back, and this, my friends, is perfectly legal and does nothing in front of my son. Does nothing. Is all it is something to help the pain. It's like taking a Tylenol. Um, so now let's go on to our first story, and all of this centers around stigma of the cannabis plant. It's a family named the Fultons that from Australia that came to Canada because Australia wouldn't let them attempt even a treatment on their two girls who both have a very severe lung condition, very rare, that makes it unable for them to absorb oxygen. So they have to take some pretty heavy pharmaceuticals that were just keeping them in bed. She couldn't. The oldest one couldn't even play hide and seek. But after only a couple of weeks on cannabis oil, her teacher had sent home that they'd like her to go surfing. It's Australia. I guess that's extracurricular activity. But that's such a wonderful thing. But the Australian government, of course, came down on them. You can't do this. So they came to Canada on a visit visa. But their visit visa is coming to an end. During that 6 months, they developed enough data to prove to anybody that the cannabis oil is the only treatment that's working for their kids, and they petitioned the Australian government, but they won't let them back while importing or growing or doing anything with cannabis. They have to come back and go back on pharmaceuticals, which probably, I don't know. I'll let you read the rest of the story. And this is also where I would do a little bit of cheers with you. A little bit of coffee with some honey in it. Um, that was really good. Uh, I'm hoping that Canada can give the Fultons a permanent home. Uh, but I'm hoping that people can take this story, which I will attach below as I always do. And if you're from Australia, and I know I have some people who watch me from there, um, share it with people. It's awful that people have to uproot their family to a new country just to get medicine that isn't even fully legal here, even. The legality of it is questionable right now because of our upcoming election. I might speak about that at the end. I might not. I'm not. I don't vote. Anyway, so that's the first story. Um, Second story is a really interesting one about exploring molecular basis runners high. And what has happened? Most of you that run would know this. Those of you who don't run have heard of a runner's high. Uh, but we've all experienced maybe most of us, extra difficult exercise or extra super long days where you've had to dig in. It's the same thing with the runner's high. It's when your body is in so much pain that it releases endorphins to satisfy your body and you get high. But what they have found, and I'm going to attach a story and you guys enjoy it, is that this high is an affecting of the endocannabinoid system in our bodies. The system that is there that can only be plugged by CBD, CBG, CBNs, and THC. So what is happening is our body is creating something to plug these endocannabinoids and getting high so that they can get over the pain. It's the same thing. So it's an internal medicine that we can create sometimes when needed. It's too bad our body doesn't create it in such huge quantities that could help us when we're sick, and then we wouldn't have to smoke and stuff like that. Next story. Um, it is from Jason Wilcox, Cannabis in Canada, an interview he had with Pamela McCall. Pamela McCall is a Canadian who is very, very vocal against marijuana, but has no facts to back her up, no citations, a whole bunch of stigma, a whole bunch of hooey. Yeah, I said it. Hooey, a bunch of bullshit. And it is the top 10 reasons Jason Wilcox schooled Pamela McCall on cannabis during their discussion. So there's also a link to the interview. It's a good interview. Um, Boy, this is going to be a short, weedy weekend. Only 3 stories. And I've already shared them. And I'm not taking the time to have any of my medicine because I don't. So we're done. But yeah, I will speak a little bit about the Canadian election because I believe we're 7 days from the 8 days from it. It's next Monday. This has been our longest election. I think it's 50 some days already. We usually go real quick with elections. This one has gone a bit too long. I've been keeping up on it, and it does look possible the Liberals could take a government, uh, which could make changes for marijuana. Could. I don't hold any. I will not hold a candle to the wind during an election because the things they're promising, they're talking out of their assholes, and that's what politicians do. So Justin Trudeau is saying that he's going to legalize completely. I do not believe it. But what I do believe in is the power of the people. And I believe that even if we end up with a conservative government again, Harper, who has touted that cigarettes are way worse than tobacco, sorry, that medical marijuana is way worse than tobacco, even if he gets back in. It's the power of the people. We have to start doing things like Jason Wilcox did here with Pamela McCall, is call these people to the mat and make them prove their statements. And when they cannot, you disprove their statements and then you tell them that they either have to secede or they're a fool. So, cheers to everybody. If you're going to vote, I hope you go liberal, but you gotta vote your conscience. If you don't vote, you don't vote. You still have a say. Be busy with your government. Doesn't mean you have to like them. Cheers. Peace. Harmony. Happy Sunday. Happy Thanksgiving to all the Canadians. Peace.